Hey guys, is Mexico cheap? Let's take a look at this idea that Mexico is cheap and you should leave the US because it's expensive and you should go to Mexico. Let's take a look at this idea and figure it out.
You guys aren't going to believe what Angelo's making today for dinner, for my Sunday dinner. He cooks on Sundays. Look at this. No, this isn't a pizza. No, it's not a frittata. This is going to be a huge sandwich. He's making a huge sandwich.
Frank and Angie, life hackers and professional frugalists, and live abroad enthusiasts. Is Mexico cheap? But first, a quick disclaimer. My videos are not about denigrating any particular person or any group of people or cultures or even whole countries. Not at all. What I do is I give you food for thought and give you facts and information that you can use to make an informed decision and live your life with both eyes open, so that you can have more enjoyment, less stress, and more success in your life. So let's do it. Okay, we're back. First thing I want to say is I don't have any vested interest in any town or place that I'm putting in this video. I don't live there. I don't have any property for sale. I don't have any businesses there. I'm not promoting anybody else's businesses. I'm just using this information for example purposes only, for the purpose of making a point in this video. So, I'm also not saying that the U.S. is not expensive. Let's just, for example, look at even a small town out west. And you will see that out west is actually pretty expensive. 3-bedroom, 2-bath home for rent, $1,450. 2-bedroom apartment, $750. Here's a 2-bedroom for only 1,000 square feet, $1,725. It's furnished. It's pretty nice looking. It's got a nifty little elephant towel right there. So yeah, it's not that the U.S. is not expensive. It's very expensive. But having said that, we can take a look at different parts of the U.S. Now, the thing about when you watch some of these videos on the internet and when you read some of these promotional marketing, live abroad marketing newsletters and such, retirement media, they always make it sound like if you don't live over here, your only option is to live out in the sticks or just the boondocks or, you know, just some nowhere place that has nothing there. And it's just not true. This is a city of 150,000 to 223,000 if you count the county. There's a lot of things you can Google it to do in cities like this in the U.S. And look at this, what a bargain. $693 for a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath for rent in the South. And so a lot of people, you know, they're in the big cities. You hear me talk a lot about that. Big city America, you know, New York, LA, Chicago, Florida, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they don't realize there's this whole other country in their own nation. And I'm not trying to tell you don't move to Mexico. You know, bear with me on this. If you want to move to Mexico, go to Mexico. You know, Mexico's great. A lot of good things in Mexico. But for the purposes of this conversation and to break through some of these channels and these YouTubes and these just really fluffy retirement magazine articles, less than $700 for that. And look at the yard. Beautiful. Nice. It's a brick home. You know, it's going to be more insulated. And that's a 3-bedroom. Here we see that we find $570. This didn't take long at all to find this stuff. I just picked a random town in the south, not little podunk, 3,000 people, 150, 200,000 people. $570 for a 1 and 2 bedroom apartments for rent. And that's for apartments. And these are not furnished, Windy Hill. Look at that, it even includes appliances. Stove, refrigerator, cabinets, nice flooring, nice and clean. $570, guys. $570. I'm going to show you in a minute why that's significant. Wall-to-wall carpets, got air conditioning. Near major shopping retailers and grocers. Nice. So anywhere between $570 and $693, you can get 1-bedroom apartments or 3-bedroom houses with yards. Just totally amazing. So let's do some budgeting. Here's the budgets. The budgets that are presented online make it sound like, oh, you can get this $200 house here, and it's just so cheap. You can live on less than $800. But then the bottom line is that you're going to need $1,500 to live in Mexico if you want to live decently. You're going to, and I'll show you what that means in a second. But I put this together here. Mexico, Ajijic, Mexico, which is a popular area. The whole lake area is a popular area in Mexico. This is USA. Housing, 1 bedroom. I'm seeing on the internet $540. USA, we just saw $570. Housing in Mexico on that area, about 3 bedroom, $1,000. Let me show you here. Here's one right here. This one is 23,000 pesos mensual, is monthly. That's about $1,200. So if you want to be in a nice house, you're going to pay up. You're going to pay the $1,200. It's not going to be a $200, $300 house. I'm not saying you can't get a $200, $300 house, but there's always stipulations and conditions. And this is a decent house. It's not, by no means it is a mansion or luxury, but it's a pretty decent home that looks enjoyable. It's got a wall, a yard, a patio. The interior, it is furnished. But again, it's $1,200. Okay, it's not. You're not going to live in a place like this, is what I'm telling you, on $800, and you're not going to live in it on $1,500. It does have the lake view and all that. Okay, so back to the budget. So your housing can be, it could be $1,000 plus. It could be $1,200, and we'll see in a minute. Now in the U.S., we've just seen $700 to $1,000 will get you a pretty decent place, a pretty nice house. Very livable, nice housing. Transportation in Mexico, I'm going to guess just based on having been in Ecuador. People say, well, it's only $2, it's only $3, $4, whatever it is, a few bucks to take a taxi. But really, when you don't have a car, foreigners like to take taxis quite a bit. And so if you're taking a taxi every day, $150 is pretty reasonable. I've met several expats who are spending $150 or more in Cuenca, Ecuador on taxis. Some of them were spending $200 to $300 because they were outside of the bus area. And I can show you in my program, I can show you how to have a vehicle for $100 a month, including insurance plus gas. So depending on how much you take in taxis, $150 to $300, and if you're retired, just it's in the ballpark. Food, entertainment, I'm going to say, expats spend a lot on food and eating out and all that, $400. And I can show you in my program, this is a price for 2 people, $300 to $400. So about similar, even if it was $500. Subtotals, we come to Mexico, Ajijic around $2,100, and the USA subtotals are also $2,100 to $2,200. Now when you add utilities, I can show you how to have utilities. I know they like to say how cheap utilities are in some of these places, and it's true. In a lot of the places, they can be cheap, but when you start adding cable TV, internet, this, that, they start inching up. It's not all about just electricity for, $30 to $60. I mean, the thing is that if you're in a place where you need air conditioning, if you use air conditioning at all, your bill's going to be higher, or even heat. And if you go to a place where you don't need that, just remember, everybody is using these places as a, it's kind of like a carrot. It's like a candy that they wave. Oh, no air conditioning, no. But what about the whole picture and everything else? And so your utilities are not about just the electric and the water. It's also about the internet, and everything else. So how good is the internet? We're looking at this, and we're looking at the fact that it's pretty much give or take just a little bit in the ballpark. And it has been said, I've been watching videos online that said, well, you really need to have 1,500 plus rent in Mexico, in the Lake Chapala area. So 1,500 plus rent, and we've seen that the rents, well here, let me show you. So I just did a quick Google, and this is his website. You can just Google, you know, I don't take any credit for any information here. It's somebody else's website, but the cost to rent a home in Lake Chapala, Ajijic area, has been moving upwards over the last few years as demand has increased and supply has not kept up. What have I been telling you all these years? What have I been telling you about Gringo bubbles, brand magazines, blogging and blogging pumpers? As with prices to buy, your price to rent will be heavily dependent on location. Well, that's always the case. The most expensive will tend to be in the actual town of Ajijic and in some of the more desirable close-in areas, which is where all the expats usually want to be, such as around the golf course or in particularly nice housing development. As you radiate away from these areas, prices trend lower, but we will see they're not really all that lower. Also, prices are highly dependent on if you rent long-term, of course they are, or seasonal. And so the vast majority come with either partial or full furniture. As a base, let's use short-term 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Ajijic proper in the more desirable local areas, assuming you get a good price, may run you $1,400 to $1,800. Guys, where's the $800 a month? Where are you going to live on $800 a month in the best locations over there? Longer term, you may be able to reduce that by 25% or so. So 25% of 14 to 18 is 436, 436. You know, let's just say average about $400. So you're still going to pay $1,000, and we've seen a decent house for $1,200 already. So you're going to pay that $1,000 to $1,200, even if you rent long term, and nicer areas, but not as nice as those above. May run 25% less. So that's still $750. So not as nice of an area. That means it's not going to be close. You're going to spend more on taxis. You know, it's not going to be as convenient. It's not going to have the view. It's just, you're just going to be in a house in a neighborhood. And 25% less is still, you know, still $750. As we've seen in the prices in the U.S., you know, how does that make it cheap? Okay, this town that I looked at here, 693, there it is, 705, 1 bedroom. That's about the same as Chapala. Nice kitchen. 750, that's got a nice pool. Who says you can't live nice? 750, 705. Here's a deluxe 18 fridge high-speed internet access deluxe 19 floor 688 2-bedroom house, big yard. That sounds cheap. Chapala doesn't sound cheap. That sounds cheap. 688, 673, pretty darn reasonable. Here's a 1-bedroom for 565. Is this one furnished? 870 for a 2-bedroom? Wow. Seriously? Here's a great move-in special 540. It's getting lower for 1-bedroom. You don't expect 1-bedrooms to be really all that huge or anything. 540. 673, 2 bedrooms. And 565, 1-bedroom. Loft apartment condo for rent. $499. Pay rent online on this one. 673, 2 bedrooms, a whole 1,000 square feet. Come on, guys, that doesn't sound so unreasonable. 725 for 3 bedrooms. 725 for 3 bedrooms. Look at that. This is unbelievable. A little bit of a galley kitchen, but big living, wall-to-wall carpet. Carpet looks like they've been steam cleaned. 725, guys, 3 bedroom. All right, reasonable. Okay, so we've got a good idea. Here's some places with pools, a little bit more. 820 for a 3-whole bedroom, almost 1,400 square feet. 820, half all first month's rent. Come on, guys, spacious. I mean, what part of that is like so much higher than Mexico or Lake Chapala area? Okay, so here's what the next step is, that in Macon, Georgia, which is the town we're looking at, sunny 28 Celsius. This is April 30th, about 1:26 p.m. And in Chapala, it's 26 Celsius. And that just means it's 78 in Chapala, and it's 82 in Macon. So you can see that the weather is actually quite nice. You find that a lot of things that people don't know about the South. I lived there for almost 20 years. It has very short winters, and they're mild winters. They're not Canada. I mean, it's not, you don't get like 3 feet of snow or even a foot or even half a foot. You don't even have a couple inches once in a while, but it melts in 2 days. So they're really mild. The weather is actually quite nice in the South. Now, people also talk about out to eat. People talk about go out to eat. And I'm hearing things like in Mexico, you can go out for a low-priced meal, you know, for this much. But if you want to get a little bit more of a medium meal, then it's like $10 to $14 or something. Well, I see here Chipotle chicken avocado milk. That doesn't sound bad. All of these sandwiches here. And I just, again, I'm not promoting any particular restaurant. I'm just saying this stuff is here. It is in the States. It's there. And I'm not telling you this because I want you to stay in the States. I'm just saying understand what you're listening to when you watch bloggers, or read Ram Magazine pitches. Understand exactly what's happening by having a deeper knowledge and understanding. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sandwiches, all under $10. And if you've never been to Panera Bread, it is a chain, but it is a medium upscale place. So it's not some dive on the side of the road, best food, you know, 24 hours or something, truck stop. It's decent. You know, I've eaten here plenty of times and enjoyed it every time. Look at these. Look how nice that looks. And I'm sure there's others. And last but not least, you know, there's always the idea that you know, what's wrong with, going out to eat. Okay, you can go out to eat, but you don't have to go out to eat every day. You know how unhealthy that is. And, you know, it's okay that we encourage people to be a little bit more self-sufficient. I mean, this meal costs like $1 or $2. All our meals cost $1 or $2, whether we're in Italy, Ecuador, or USA, North America. Our meals have always cost that. It just takes a little bit of ingenuity. That pizza cost us a couple of bucks. That's ours. That's our pizza. You know, you don't have to go out every single time you want to eat good. You can eat at least once a week at home and practice. Practice makes perfect, and that's how we got that good with that kind of stuff. So anyhow, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching my video on Is Mexico Cheap? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? The idea that people are pitching you Mexico, making it sound like this is the best solution in the world because it's got great weather and the prices are cheap and the U.S. is so expensive, which it is. It is expensive, but the U.S. is huge. Lots of areas. And making it sound like, well, if you want to live cheaper in the U.S., you're going to end up being way out in these boonies and there's nothing, you know, and it's just not true. Thanks for watching my video. And as always, if you like the video, you know what to do. And hey, I've got some links below if you will want to check out. I've got some goodies for you. And have a wonderful day. Thanks again. Bye.